Hello students, today we are going to study lesson 4 in the Kingdom of Fools by A.K. Ramanujan from class 9 NCERT English book Moments. In the Kingdom of Fools is a Kannada folk tale, which means a story which is passed on from one generation to other. It is written by A.K. Ramanujan in his book Folk Tales of India. A.K. Ramanujan was a bilingual writer who wrote in English and Kannada. He was born in Mysore in 1929. He taught in many colleges in India and later on was appointed at University of Chicago. He also taught at Harvard University and many other also. He was awarded Padma Shri, MacArthur Fellowship and Sahitya Academy Award for English writers. Now let's begin with the summary of this lesson. In the Kingdom of Fools, as the title reflects, is a kingdom of idiots, where both king and ministers are not wise. Once a guru and his disciple visited that kingdom. They were surprised to find the whole kingdom asleep during the day, and everything was of a single duru. Later on, they came to know that it was the instruction given by the king. The guru, being a wise man, decides to leave the place as he realizes the danger of staying in the kingdom of fools. But the disciple remains behind in spite of Guru's advice. One day, a thief broke out in the merchant's house. The thief died as the old wall fell upon him. Thief's brother complained about his brother's debt to the king. The owner of the house, the merchant, was summoned. The foolish king told the merchant that he was guilty due to his weak wall. The thief died and would be punished now. The merchant pleaded that he was not at all at fault. The person who made it did not construct it well. So the bricklayer was called. Now the king questioned him and then told him that he would be punished for constructing a weak wall. The bricklayer also pleaded that he was not at fault. It was because of a dancing girl who was roaming around in the street, and her anklets were making a sound due to which he was distracted. So that dancing girl was called upon. The dancing girl put the blame on another person. She had given some gold to goldsmith to make jewelry. She had to roam around in the lane again and again as the goldsmith was a lazy person and was delaying the order. After listening to her, the goldsmith was called. The goldsmith had his own story to tell. He had an order from a rich merchant who had a wedding at his place and was in a hurry to get his order. This was the reason dancing girl's order was delayed. The merchant was none other than the owner of the house, whose wall had fallen. Now, full blame fell upon the merchant. The merchant cried that it was his father who ordered the jewelry and he was dead. The king consulted his ministers and passed the order that the merchant would die as he had inherited everything from his father. Now the king ordered a new stake to be ready for execution. The minister felt that the merchant was very thin and could not be executed. He told this thing to the king. So a fat man was searched. The servant's eyes fell upon the disciple who had become fat enough to fit on the stake. The disciple pleaded the king, but of no use. In the hour of trouble, he remembered his Guru, who was blessed with magical powers and saw everything in his vision. The Guru appeared at the scene and whispered something in his disciple's ears. The Guru requested the king to put him to the stake first. When the disciple heard of it, he said to be executed first. The king got surprised to see the fight between them. Upon inquiring by the king, the Guru told him, whosoever died on the stake first would be reborn as the king of the country, and the next one to be executed would become the minister. The king was puzzled and discussed the matter with his minister. Then he arrived at the conclusion that the king and minister should go to the stake as he didn't want to lose his kingdom. So they went to the prison and secretly disguised as the Guru and disciple and freed them and got themselves executed. The people made the Guru and his disciple their king and minister and led a prosperous life ever after. So, students, this was the story about a foolish king and his foolish ministers. And we have learnt how their foolishness brought them to their doomsday. Thank you.